Welcome back to the deep dive. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. This time, we're diving into a topic that a listener sent to us, and it's something I think we can all relate to: determination.
Sounds fascinating. I'm intrigued to see what we uncover.
Me too. Our listener sent us a really fascinating mix of sources. We've got excerpts from both the Old and New Testaments, plus some more modern motivational passages.
So we'll be looking at determination from both a religious and secular perspective?
Exactly. I think it would be really interesting to see how these different perspectives connect, or maybe even clash.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. What kind of texts are we talking about specifically?
Well, from the Old Testament, we've got selections from Genesis, Job, and Psalms.
Ooh, those are some powerful texts. Lots to unpack
For
there.
sure. And then from the New Testament, we'll be exploring the book of Acts, Romans, First Corinthians, and Hebrews.
Okay, so a pretty broad sweep of biblical texts, and then the motivational passages. Any hints on what those are about?
I don't want to spoil the surprise just yet, but I will say they touch on some really thought-provoking themes like leadership, service, and the idea of leaving a legacy.
Okay, I'm hooked. Let's jump in. Where should we start?
Well, let's start with the Old Testament. When I think of determination in the Bible, the story of Joseph immediately comes to mind. I mean, talk about a guy who faced some serious adversity.
Oh, absolutely. Sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused, thrown in prison. You'd think that would break anyone.
Right. But he never gives up. He keeps his head up, he works hard, and eventually he rises to a position of power in Egypt. It's an incredible story of resilience.
It really is. But it's not just about resilience, is it? There's something deeper there, something about his character, his faith, that allows him to not only endure hardship, but to thrive in the midst of it.
I think you're right. Throughout all those trials, Joseph never loses sight of his values, his integrity. He could have easily become bitter and vengeful, but he doesn't. He chooses a different path.
And that's a key aspect of determination, isn't it? It's not just about pushing through, it's about doing so with grace, with integrity. It's about making choices that are aligned with our deepest values, even when it's incredibly difficult.
That makes me think about the ending of Joseph's story. Even after everything he's been through, when his brothers come to Egypt desperate for food, he forgives them. He doesn't hold on to the pain of the past. He chooses to move forward with compassion.
That's a powerful example of forgiveness. And it challenges us to ask ourselves, what are the values that anchor us when we face adversity? What principles guide our actions, even when it's tempting to compromise?
Wow, I never thought about it that way. It's like his determination is fueled by something deeper than just a desire to succeed. It's rooted in his faith, his belief in a just and merciful God.
Exactly. And that brings us to another fascinating figure in the Old Testament, Job. Now, here's a man who truly embodies unwavering faith in the midst of unimaginable suffering.
Oh, Job. That's a tough one. The book of Job always gets me thinking. I mean, why do bad things happen to good people?
Right. It's a question that has haunted humanity for centuries. And the book of Job doesn't give us any easy answers. But it does offer us a profound exploration of faith, of suffering, and of the limits of human understanding.
Job loses everything, his wealth, his family, his health, yet he refuses to curse God. He wrestles with his doubts, his anger, his pain, but ultimately, he chooses to hold on to his faith.
It's almost like his determination becomes a form of resistance, a refusal to let suffering destroy his spirit.
It's a powerful image, and it makes you wonder, what is the nature of faith? Is it blind acceptance? Or is it something more nuanced, maybe even a defiant kind of trust, as you said?
Right. Job's story suggests that faith isn't about avoiding suffering, but about wrestling with it, questioning it, and ultimately choosing to believe even when the world seems to have fallen apart.
So we've got Joseph, who faces betrayal and hardship but maintains his integrity, and Job, who embodies unwavering faith amidst suffering. Both are powerful examples of determination in the Old Testament. What about the Psalms? What do they add to this conversation?
Well, the Psalms offer a different perspective. They're less about grand narratives and more about the inner struggle, the yearning for connection with something greater than oneself, the raw honesty of human emotion in all its complexity.
That's a good point. The Psalms are full of lament, of doubt, of fear, but there's also this incredible sense of hope, of clinging to faith, even in the darkest of times.
And that tension, that push and pull between doubt and determination is something I think a lot of us can relate to. It's a reminder that determination isn't about suppressing our humanness. It's about acknowledging our weaknesses and choosing, again and again, to move towards the light.
It's like that saying, fall 7 times, stand up 8.
Exactly. The Psalms remind us that it's okay to stumble, to question, to doubt, What matters is that we keep getting back up, keep striving, keep reaching for something beyond ourselves.
It's like those moments when you feel like giving up, but then something inside you says, keep going. Just one more step.
That's the voice of determination, whispering to us even when we feel lost and alone. And often that voice leads us back to a place of connection, of hope, of faith.
That makes me think about Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. It's a declaration of trust, of knowing that even when things are tough, we're not alone.
Absolutely. And that sense of trust, of knowing that we're held and guided by something greater than ourselves, can be an incredible source of strength and determination.
So we've seen determination play out in the face of betrayal and hardship with Joseph, unwavering faith amidst suffering with Job, and that soul-searching determination in the Psalms. That's quite a journey through the Old Testament already. But now I think it's time to shift gears and dive into the New Testament.
Yes, I'm eager to see how the New Testament expands on these themes. Plus, we've got those motivational passages to explore, too.
Right, I have a feeling we're just getting started, but I think we'll save that for next time.
Okay, I can't wait.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll be back soon to continue exploring the fascinating world of determination. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We're picking up our exploration of determination, and this time we're venturing into the New Testament.
I'm excited to see what new insights we uncover. We left off talking about determination in the Old Testament. Those are some pretty intense examples: Joseph, Job, the Psalms.
I know, right? Those stories really pack a punch. But now we're stepping into a whole new era with the arrival of Jesus. What stands out to you about determination in the New Testament?
Well, with Jesus, the concept of determination takes on a whole new dimension. His life, his teachings, his sacrifice on the cross, it's all driven by this unwavering love and this incredible mission to redeem humanity.
You're right. It's like everything changes with Jesus.
Yeah.
And the apostles, those early followers tasked with spreading his message, well, they faced some pretty intense challenges themselves. I mean, they were up against the Roman Empire.
Yeah, talk about a high-stakes situation, persecution, imprisonment. They literally risked their lives to share this radical message of love and forgiveness.
And yet they never wavered. Their determination was just unshakable. But it wasn't driven by ego or ambition. It was something deeper, something more powerful.
Absolutely. They were driven by a profound sense of purpose, a belief that they were part of something much bigger than themselves. That's something that really jumps out at me from the book of Acts.
So tell me more about that.
Well, in Acts, we see this small, relatively unknown group of Jesus's followers transform into a movement that spreads like wildfire throughout the Roman Empire. And it's their determination that fuels that expansion.
It's incredible, isn't it? Think about that scene where Peter and John are arrested and brought before the Sanhedrin. They're literally ordered to stop preaching about Jesus, but they flat out refuse.
Oh, yeah, they were like, we can't not talk about what we've seen and heard. Talk about taking a stand for what you believe in. Their determination was rooted in this deep conviction, this unwavering belief that they were part of something truly extraordinary.
And it's not just about individual courage either. It's about collective determination. They found strength in their shared faith, their commitment to supporting one another, their desire to build something larger than themselves. It's inspiring, really.
It really is. It reminds us that we don't have to face our challenges alone. That sense of belonging, of shared purpose, well, that can be an incredibly powerful source of determination.
Speaking of powerful examples, we can't forget about Paul. His missionary journeys were full of shipwrecks, beatings, imprisonments. I mean, the guy went through the ringer. And yet, his commitment to spreading the gospel never wavered.
Paul's dedication is just mind-blowing. He faced constant opposition and danger, but he just kept going. Talk about walking the walk.
Exactly. And in Romans, he talks about faith as the foundation for unwavering determination. But, sometimes that idea of faith can feel a bit cliche, like
Right.
faith can move mountains. We've all heard that before. How does that actually apply to our modern, complex world?
It's a fair point, but I think Paul is talking about a different kind of faith. Not blind acceptance, but active trust. Trust even when things are uncertain. He compares faith to a mustard seed, tiny in size, but capable of growing into a mighty tree. It's about believing that even small acts, driven by genuine conviction, can have a huge impact.
So it's not about having this grand, unshakable belief. It's more about making choices each day that align with our values, even when those choices are tough.
Exactly. It's about trusting that even when we can't see the whole picture, even when we're struggling, there's a bigger plan unfolding. And in his letters, Paul doesn't shy away from the tough stuff. He talks about doubt, temptation, conflict within the early church communities.
He even talks about the temptations of the flesh, those desires for things that ultimately don't serve us.
Right, he acknowledges the messiness of being human. It's like he's saying that determination isn't about being perfect. It's about acknowledging our weaknesses and choosing again and again to strive for what we know is right.
So it's not about suppressing our human nature. It's about working with it, guiding it towards something better. It's about recognizing that we're going to stumble, but getting back up and trying again.
Exactly. And that brings us back to a question we touched on earlier. What values anchor us when we face those tough choices? What principles guide our actions when we're tempted to stray from our path?
That's a powerful question. And I think it's one that we'll continue to grapple with as we explore these motivational passages. But for now, I think it's time to take a quick break.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready to dive into those passages when we get back. All right, welcome back. Are you ready to tackle those motivational passages?
I am. We've talked about those biblical heroes, explored the teachings of the apostles. Now I'm really curious to see how those motivational passages fit into the picture.
Me too. Let's see what kind of wisdom we can glean from them.
Perfect. The first passage you sent is from Psalm 78.72. And David shepherded them with integrity of heart. With skillful hands, he led them. What jumps out at you about this one?
It highlights the importance of both character and competence. Leading with integrity, guiding with skill. It suggests that true determination isn't just about having a strong will, but also developing the virtues and skills necessary to navigate challenges effectively.
So it's not just about having that fire in your belly. It's also about having the wisdom to know where to direct that fire and the skills to actually make things happen.
Exactly. It's a more holistic approach to determination. It's about inner strength and outward action, aligning our actions with our values, developing expertise to make a meaningful contribution.
Like a craftsman who has both a passion for their craft and the skill to create something beautiful and lasting.
A perfect analogy.
Okay, the next quote on our list comes from Luke 12.48. From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, and from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked. How does this fit in with what we've been talking about?
It introduces the idea of responsibility that comes with having gifts, talents, or influence. True determination isn't just about personal gain, it's also recognizing the obligations that come with our abilities, using them wisely and ethically.
Like the Spider-Man quote, right? With great power comes great responsibility. Our determination should be about making a positive impact on the world around us.
Absolutely. It's a call to accountability. How are we using our resources, influence, our very determination to create a more just world? Think about leaders, innovators, change makers who made a difference. What was their driving force? What legacy did they leave?
All right, moving on to Matthew 20.26. Whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant. Kind of turns to the traditional idea of leadership upside down, doesn't it?
It does. Challenges the whole notion that leadership is about power and control. True leadership, the kind that inspires and empowers others, that's rooted in service, humility, putting others' needs first.
So it's not about climbing the ladder to reach the top. It's about using our determination to lift others, help them reach their full potential.
Precisely. Think about those amazing teachers, mentors, volunteers who dedicate themselves to serving others. Their determination isn't about personal gain, but empowering others, making a difference in people's lives.
Okay, this next quote is a bit longer, but it really speaks to the consequences of using determination for selfish gain. It's from Matthew 25.14, 21, and 23. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. His master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness." What's your take on this?
This passage reminds us that determination, like any powerful tool, can be used for good or bad. It's not enough to simply be determined. We must also consider the ethical implications, the impact our choices have on others.
Determination without integrity, that's a scary thought.
It really underscores how important it is to align our determination with a strong moral compass, making sure our actions are guided by justice, compassion, integrity. It's about asking ourselves, what is my determination driving me towards? Am I using my talents for the benefit of others, or am I just chasing selfish ambitions?
All right, let's look at Psalm 148.11 through 13. Kings of the earth and all peoples, princes and all rulers of the earth, young men and maidens, old men and children, 13, let them all praise the name of the Lord. For his name alone is excellent, his glory is above the earth and heaven. How does this relate to determination?
This passage reminds us of humility and gratitude, recognizing our achievements aren't solely our own, but made possible by something larger than ourselves. True determination isn't fueled by ego or needing recognition. It's a desire to use our gifts for something bigger than ourselves.
Reminds me of the quote, talent is God-given, be humble. Fame is man-given, be grateful. Conceit is self-given, be careful.
That's a great connection. It's all about acknowledging the source of our blessings, recognizing we're part of something larger, and using our determination to contribute to that purpose.
Okay, on to Hebrews 13.15. Through Jesus, therefore, let us continually offer to God a sacrifice of praise, the fruit of lips that openly profess his name. What does this add to the mix?
This passage emphasizes the power of gratitude and praise, recognizing that even during challenges, there's always something to be thankful for. Determination isn't fueled by lack, but by a grateful heart. We recognize the blessings in our lives and use our determination to express that gratitude through actions and words.
It's like that saying, what you focus on expands. If you focus on lack, you feel depleted. But if you focus on what you're grateful for, even small things, it can fuel your determination and give you energy to keep going.
That's it. Gratitude isn't just about feeling good, it's about recognizing the interconnectedness of everything, the web of support around us, acknowledging the people who've helped us, resources available to us, opportunities presented to us.
So gratitude is like fuel for determination, and recognizing our interconnectedness with others helps us stay grounded and focused on what matters.
I love that. And speaking of gratitude and praise, here's Psalm 103.1 to 2. Praise the Lord, my soul, all my inmost being, praise his holy name. Praise the Lord, my soul, and forget not all his benefits. How does this resonate with you?
It emphasizes that wholehearted engagement, bringing our full selves to whatever we're doing, approaching life with passion and purpose. True determination isn't going through the motions or doing the bare minimum. It's putting our heart and soul into what we believe in, pursuing goals with enthusiasm, approaching challenges with energy and commitment.
It's about living with intention, being present, bringing our best selves to everything. Love it.
Next, sing to him, sing psalms to him, tell of all his wondrous works. How does this connect to our conversation?
It's about sharing our experiences, insights, passions with others. Determination isn't just individual achievement, it's inspiring others, sharing our stories, using our voices to uplift those around us.
Like a ripple effect. One person's determination inspiring countless others.
Exactly. Think of authors, speakers, artists who move people, inspire change with their words and creations. Their determination is about self-expression, but also touching lives, leaving a legacy of hope.
Now let's dive into Isaiah 40.29-31. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Such powerful imagery.
It speaks to the importance of hope and renewal. Even the most determined among us will get tired, discouraged. True determination isn't about never faltering. It's knowing where to find strength when we need it.
It's recognizing we don't have to do it all alone. There are sources of strength all around us if we just open ourselves to them.
Beautifully put. Faith, loved ones, even nature's beauty. Countless sources of renewal to replenish our energy, find the strength to keep going.
Okay, here's a powerful passage from John 16.33, Amplified Bible. I have told you these things, so that in me you may have perfect peace and confidence. In the world you have tribulation and trials and distress and frustration, but be of good cheer, take courage. Be confident, certain, undaunted. For I have overcome the world. I have deprived it of power to harm you and have conquered it for you. What are your thoughts on this one?
It emphasizes finding peace and confidence within, even when the world feels chaotic. True determination isn't avoiding challenges, it's facing them courageously, knowing we're not alone, and believing in our ability to overcome anything.
It's about that unshakable belief in ourselves and something greater, allowing us to navigate challenges without losing our peace or purpose. Wow, we've covered so much ground today. What are your final thoughts on this deep dive?
It's been an incredible journey. We've explored biblical stories, teachings of the apostles, and wisdom from motivational passages, all pointing to determination as this powerful force shaping our lives, empowering us to overcome challenges, and guiding us toward a meaningful life.
I'm really struck by the idea that determination isn't just about gritting our teeth and pushing through. It's about aligning our actions with our values, finding strength in faith and community, and recognizing we're all on this journey of growth and transformation.
And remember, determination is like a muscle that grows stronger with use. Every step you take, every choice you make, every challenge you overcome brings you closer to the life you were meant to live.
This has been an incredible exploration. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep choosing to be determined.